My Greatest Nightmares. We call LoreDump with me, acting as your host, Jared Thorpe. And as always, with me is the effervescent,
Cole.
and today we are discussing just our favorite movie in the Alien franchise, Prometheus.
And Covenant.
Well, Covenant's a little bit of a lesser part of it, right?
Prometheus is so stupid.
It's mostly Prometheus, and I feel like we have to preface this with the fact that, one, we aren't experts.
No, no.
We're quick researchers for the most part, and
Very
we
quick.
intentionally find the stupidest things to discuss those. This isn't about the smart lore. This is about the dumb lore. Okay? Secondly,
Prometheus is smart?
we'll get into that. Second thing I have to preface this with, we hate this movie.
Absolutely.
We both hate Prometheus.
So I watched it about a week ago to prepare for this, to prepare for the whole Alien franchise. And my god, was it so fucking stupid.
It's legitimately like it's a movie that tries to be ridiculously intelligent and fails on almost every single measure. And I don't understand how. And a lot of people like it, and if you like it, please explain what you like about it to me.
Yeah.
I'm willing to listen to counter arguments, but to me, the plot just happens because the script says it happens. There's no reason in universe for anything.
In the movie, they don't explain David.
Yeah, David's unexplained in the movie. He just does things. Does it explain anything in the extended cut? I've never seen that. I've seen the movie 5 times.
Seen it once, and that's enough for me.
You can call me a masochist if you will.
And
I
then
probably am.
And then Prometheus, a Covenant starts good, but
Oh,
then
yeah.
Prometheus bleeds into it. And
As
just
soon as David appears. As soon as David appears, Covenant goes from, oh, this movie's pretty good, besides the sports. Sports are fucking stupid. But the movie goes, oh, this is pretty good, to, what the fuck just happened?
yeah,
It's just, as soon as David shows up, because he has no reason for his motivations besides, I was not born to serve. I meant to play God.
yeah.
But, like, why? What created this? What
Yeah.
sparked this hatred? He has no internal reasoning. He just is. And it's the most frustrating thing. And, well, Cole has prepared another PowerPoint, so if you're watching the video version of this, you will see the PowerPoint on screen from this point forward.
Yeah.
If not, there are going to be the Google Doc notes for anyone who wants to follow those along. There'll be a link wherever you're watching this or listening to this.
I've quickly thrown this together with images to help guide our conversation, hopefully, and little points.
We shouldn't really have too much of a problem doing this right now because, we both hate this movie. So,
Yep.
take everything we say with the fact that we hate it.
It needed more Bugmen.
You know what this franchise needs?
Bugmen.
Bugmen. And every franchise now needs Bugmen, in my opinion.
Yes.
So, without any further ado, I'm switching over to pulling up the PowerPoint now.
Yeah.
And
Let's start with the beginning.
I like your lack of subtitle on the cover.
Just I don't care. I don't.
I'm gonna edit in the globe.
Globe should be in everything.
Okay. All right.
So, the cave droids. Okay, I started this and I went into the video to like get the dates down. So 1,000 years ago, engineers went to several civilizations, all existing at different points in time, and showed them this star system. They showed it to the Babylons, the Hedes, the Hawaiians, the Isle of Ski, the Egyptians, the Mayans, the Sumerians, all at different points in time. How? Were they just hanging out?
They go back and forth. Clearly, it's like Predator.
Yeah.
They come back every now and again to hunt in their temples,
Yeah.
But they come back to show us cave drawings and the star system that somehow they all recognize perfectly. It's all from the same perspective, isn't it?
Yeah, it all has like the same like big guy pointing, despite them being all different like cultures and
cultures.
yeah, well, different
And
artists even.
Locations, completely different time periods. Like
Yeah.
so, one that says 3,500 plus 35,000 plus BCE, and most of them are like in the early thousands, and you're just like, what?
Yeah.
And then you got Egyptians who clearly are different than the Sumerian arts. If you've ever seen their arts,
Yeah.
they're completely different. So it doesn't make sense for them all to have the same art, and it also doesn't make sense for the engineer just to be able to point the system.
Does he have a PowerPoint?
Does he prepare this like? Does he have the hollow globe?
Oh, the Rubik's cube.
The Rubik's cube with a few buttons on it that you push just to.
Well, and so Waylon finds all of these, and they think it's an invitation, but why?
I mean, it's Wayland. He thinks he's first in line for everything, including immortality. So, of course, he's gonna think, oh, they want me to come there. My old ass about to die.
Yeah, I'm important. I'm rich.
Are you though? Are you important, Wayland?
But also, why did the engineers point them this way?
I mean, yeah, their whole goal in the end is to kill us.
Yeah, why would they point us there?
But why do they want to kill us? Is another question.
I don't know.
Nothing's explained. Nothing is explained. Okay.
They don't. So they came to us, showed us the star system. They left. Now they want to come back and murder us all. Well, before that, they also created us.
Yeah, and then they create the thing they want to kill us with.
I don't know.
Yeah, they don't get it.
It's just, it goes by so quick. But
it leads to the planet in Prometheus, right?
yes.
Yes. That. I don't know if we said that. But
LV224, I think.
yeah, whatever it's called. The planet with the black goo and the military facilities there, engineers. Next slide.
Yes, please.
Okay, moving on.
The neurovisor.
Why? Why is this is the movie for one line?
Yes, David throughout several points watches only Shaw's dreams through a visor.
He doesn't watch anyone else's?
I don't believe so, no.
But he in Covenant, he claims to be in love with her. Maybe that's why.
He does it so he could say that her died of Ebola.
Her died.
Yes, died.
So it's this whole thing where she has the alien inside of her, and he's talking about diseases.
Yep.
And he's talking about, like, it must be hard considering your dad died of Ebola. So he watches her dreams just to say that when he could easily just have file records that say it.
He's a robot. He could easily just have, like, file records and, like, just pull up information whenever.
Yep.
Westworld does that, and it's really good with that.
Legitimately, he could just view the ship's records. Like, everyone on the ship, essentially, the ship works for him in tandem. He can pull up whatever he wants. He has the master key.
Yeah, he could just, like, have records and said, but no, we gotta make this weird orange glow helmet he's gotta put on.
To watch dreams. And then watch Lawrence of Arabia, of course.
Oh my god.
You can't forget about that scene.
Oh, no. He loves Lawrence of Arabia.
Oh, I will note that I'm guessing more than half of this will be us discussing David. So if you get annoyed with David...
I tried to put in a bunch of other stuff, but once we get to David, we'll just go off.
Yeah. What's next?
The mapping tech, or the pups, or they're also called the parameter uplink spectrograph.
Parameter uplink spectrograph.
Yeah, they're an automated orb-shaped three-dimensional mapping device, and its purpose is to survey unknown planetary terrain during, like, pre-terraforming processes.
To, like, get, like, what the lay of the land prior to the terraforming team.
That's what they would use it normally.
So they know what to bring when they're terraforming a planet.
Yeah.
Which would make more sense in Covenant than it would in Prometheus.
Yeah, but they're not in that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Then they do it with, like, an omnidirectional laser that created a live 3D mapped holograph along with the detailed scanned images being sent to a viewing platform.
Sounds overly complicated for no reason.
The shell, of course, was composed of a new hyperconducting material that allowed for smooth, self-propelled flight in any atmosphere. A polymer film biosensor was used to detect airborne toxins and life forms down to 500 nanometers.
So essentially what I'm saying is what I'm getting is a lot of effort was put into this, and it's barely used.
Well, they have the map, right?
Yeah.
They show it in several points, and they have, like, each of the crew members in it. Then they get lost.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And another thing is it's just like, look at all the work they put into this. Why can't they explain David?
Like, I don't... And, like, they have the greatest mapping tech in Civilization, but two of them get lost? Like, literally, you're, like, on the map.
Yep. And, like, legitimately, in the fucking ship, he can see them in this 3D mapping tech, where they are, and their location, and where they are relative to the ship.
Yeah.
And what a waste of Idris Elba, but...
And then they, like, alright, you two, you better survive, don't keep each other...
Don't pet hissing snakes.
Yeah. Keep each other company, and then they just leave them. And they come back like, how'd they die?
I wonder what happened. Okay. I already see the title for the next one, and I'm going to say...
Black goo!
Deus Ex Machina, the plot device.
Also known as
You don't have
chemical
to read that.
AO3959X.91-15.
Who named it that?
I have no idea.
How is it named that? The only person who knows about it is David.
And
does David come back to Earth to name it that? Like,
I don't know.
David's the only one who knows about the black goo.
And he knows it enough to start, like, playing with it.
Yeah, okay.
So this is a quote from Alien Covenant. The pathogen is designed to infect all non-botanical life forms, all the animals, the meat, if you will. Either kill them outright or use them as incubators to spawn a hybrid form, highly aggressive.
But, okay, so, it doesn't do that, though.
Nope.
It impregnates someone, it infects someone just for the sake of infecting them. It turns engineers to stone.
Yep.
It turns plants somehow into the spore things, but it's not supposed to affect the botanical life forms.
In the beginning of one, it melts one
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah, and when he pulls it out, right, and he drips it on, isn't like so acidic rising or something like that?
I think it's like on his finger, which by the way has like a Weyland-Yutani symbol on his finger, but whatever.
Yeah.
But apparently it doesn't affect him.
And not Weyland Yutani, it's just Weyland at this time.
Oh, sorry. That's
pre-merger.
Yeah, that's in Covenant though.
Yeah,
so.
yes. Pre-merger.
Between the two, that's important. The dangerous pathogen that mutates the victims in magically unpredictable ways, rewriting the DNA.
Magically unpredictable. I like how you threw magically in there because it is a magic plot device that that's what the writer wants at any given time. I legitimately think they made it fossilized engineers just so the engineer and the alien that was fossilized made sense. That's my legitimate thought.
No.
Like that's why the scene in Covenant where he pours it out and it fossilized all the engineers. I think that they had to write that in because like, wait, we're writing this so that the ship only crash landed, maybe 20 years, 30 years, 40 years before Alien? We can't say the engineers fossilized, so let's have the black goo fossilize engineers. For some reason, despite it when the main guy that you think will be the main character throughout the most of the beginning of the film, when he gets it in, it turns his sperm into alien babies for some reason.
Yeah, squid babies. Yeah.
The only good scene.
So it's like created by engineers either to create new life or be a bioweapon. What?
I genuinely think they're trying to do what David did, but they fucked up somehow. And David's too perfect to ever fuck anything up, so of course he gets away with it.
It's contained in stellites ampules, the weird ampule things. The next slide covers that.
Okay, but like those words don't make sense.
That's what they call it.
I understand that's what they call it, but like an ampule is. Never mind. Continue. Let's just not let me get on semantics of what the root words are. This is not a linguistics podcast, no matter how much I want it to be.
No. We'll go to the next slide.
You didn't say the primary purpose is to cleanse planets of unwanted non-plant life.
That's what David says, but I don't believe him.
I mean, David's the god in this universe. He created everything that's important besides the engineers,
except for himself. And he hates that he was created.
Yeah, he said, "I was not born to serve."
Oh God. All right. So,
I think she swallowed the whole thing. My dog just swallowed a huge piece of treat that I gave her to distract her, and I think she's not okay. Anyway,
she's still going.
We're okay. She still got it. Cool. I was nervous there. All right. Well, I'll keep going.
I'm going to the next slide because it goes into the container and more stupid about the black goo. The container itself is designed to hold the black goo due to the liquid's unstable nature at room temperature.
Wait, why is it unstable at room temperature?
I don't know.
Why is it stated that's unstable at room temperature?
The outside of the container has engravings of an information placard.
Do we see what's on that information placard?
Well, David does.
Besides David, how did wait, save this for David.
Inside the liquid is held in 4 glass vials to ensure that the black goo is kept its infectivity and
virulence
after prolonged storage. All the ampules are to be kept in rows of at 0.9652 meters from one another.
This is disturbingly specific.
Errors in temperature stability were amplified by an increase or decrease in distance from one another.
What?
Yeah, so if you move them, they become unstable.
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
If you
Why is this all so oddly specific?
if you move them farther or closer, it all becomes unstable.
Being super specific does not make your stories better.
It's like overly specific.
Right? Like it doesn't help. It makes me have so many more questions. Like one, how did they discover this? How can I see engineers the test trials of black goo? Is that a video I can watch?
Yeah, it's like
Okay, we'll sort them 1 meter apart. That's too far. Okay. 9.95 meters apart. That's too close. 0.9652 meters. That's perfect.
You know what it reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of in real life, it's like a type of uranium or radioactive.
Yeah.
If you get too much together, they become unstable.
Mm-hmm.
And it causes a disaster. I think that happened once.
Yeah, but what?
But for this, that's like, oh, there's too much of it in one spot. This is like, it must be kept at this distance. Yeah. This exact.
The exact distance. Any further, any closer, there's danger. And it doesn't explain why there's danger. It says it becomes unstable. Like, that's all I want you to be specific about. I want you to be specific about the danger, not specific about the distance.
I want you to
they
be
have to be
specific
kept.
about David, not
I want you to
this.
be specific about what, the what and how, not necessarily the measurements. Like, anyway.
They were designed to release the black goo when sensing sudden environmental changes and deploy the chemical to nearby life forms.
But doesn't David just drop the black goo itself, essentially?
He does on that whole planet.
So he doesn't use the ampules.
I don't
think he does. I
think he does.
Does he? Does he just drop ampules? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
But that explains why the two assholes who get lost in the movie, for some reason, they make camp there by the bioweapons.
I mean, they don't know they're bioweapons, but then
they
don't know what anything is, so why even...
But the ampules start, like, leaking out, and then they come back, and, like, it's everywhere. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds like an awful way to store your bioweapon.
I mean, everything is awful.
So, wait. If the engineers went near them, would they have gone off, too?
I'm guessing.
That sounds awful. That
right?
sounds like an awful way to store something.
It sounds like it's a weapon that you can't maintain.
It's got a hairpin.
Eradicate all your people.
It's got a hairpin trigger.
Right? And the only person that can go near it is David, because he's not a life form.
I guess. I fucking guess.
Is that the Deus Ex Machina of David there? Since he's not a life form, these don't trigger and kill him? Because he's...
I mean, he doesn't change from me. He has like a little bit on his fingertip, but he does it like...
How does it affect synthetic life? We gotta find that out.
Yeah. Oh. So, the dissolving engineer. Oh, God. Or beautiful Squidward.
Handsome Squidward.
Yeah, so thousands of years ago, as engineers are flying off, a sacrificial engineer strips to his undies and drinks the black goo and dissolves into a waterfall.
Why does this one dissolve into a waterfall?
This, of course, seeds all life on the human planet.
I like your question.
So I have many questions that I just put in there. Why near a waterfall? Why not just near, like, a lake?
Or the ocean.
Or an ocean. Or just a normal river.
Because the waterfall is more dramatic, and Ridley Scott is nothing if not dramatic.
Well, yeah, but it sounds painful.
I mean, it sounds painful in general. You're dissolving.
Yeah.
You're essentially disintegrating the seed life that you will eventually kill for some reason.
But now you're disintegrating and blunt force trauma. And is there not a better way to seed this fucking planet?
Right? These guys are supposed to be like the creators of all life or something like that, and yet this is how they do it?
Yeah, they gotta sacrifice one themselves. Yes.
So, wait. They created the black goo before they created humans, yet they created black goo to kill humans?
Did they just have this around in case they want to kill shit?
Right? Because in the movie, I'm pretty sure Shaw and, David talk about how it's a bioweapon created to kill humanity.
Yeah.
But they clearly have it here.
Now, we don't know. They never explicitly say it's the black goo, but it's in the fucking movie.
It looks exactly
It's exactly
like
the same. This goo's for making life. This goo's for destroying life. Don't mix them up.
Don't mix them up. But if you drink if you're an engineer, you drink the making life goo, you dissolve. But if you're an engineer and you get touched by the destroying life goo, you become a fossil.
I want this to be in Princess Bride, where they swap out the drinks and like, which one you gonna make? You're make life or destroy?
I'm immune to both of them. I'm David. I'm immune to everything.
God damn it.
Title of this podcast. We talk about David for an hour.
Oh God.
So how long did the engineers stay around on this planet? Is the other question you asked.
Yeah. So they dissolve them, but then do they stay around to show them the stars,
I don't know.
or do they leave, come back to keep telling these people where to go?
I don't know. Does it really matter?
And if so, is it like that friend of mine who keeps texting me but I don't answer him, so he just keeps texting me over and over again?
So
Like-
you?
Yes. Of course.
Stop moving the cans, Cole.
I like it.
Anyway, next slide. Let's go. Oh, God.
The hammerpede.
The fucking snake.
So the flatworms that are inside the engineer temple, they were exposed to the black goo when the ampules started leaking. Okay. 2 of the members decided to spend the night in the bioweapon storage room with the ominous giant face stare at them all night.
None of this makes sense.
No. Of course not.
Why did it become this snake thing? Why is it called a hammerpede? Is this because it's shaped like a fucking... It's because it's shaped like a sledgehammer.
Yes.
It's
course
because
it
it's shaped like a hammer. Oh my...
And upon seeing the snake, one of the dumbasses thinks it's beautiful.
Why is everything so base level?
And
Besides the things that don't matter.
and they go to pet the hissing snake. The universal sign to fuck off.
My favorite part about this is the geologist is saying, nope, don't go near me. And then the biologist, the guy who knows animals, is like, I'm going to touch it. It's to give me the universal sign of, I'm angry at you. Yet somehow,
And
I
then
think
it
this
even
needs to be
like
pet.
opens its flaps to like
And he's-
really.
And he calls it beautiful. He's like, it's so beautiful. Oh my God.
Yeah. And then once the dude gets too fucking close, of course it latches onto his arm, and then he breaks it. The snake breaks his arm.
Yeah,
The other tries to cut it, and it has acid for blood.
It
and
melts
It melts the other dude's mask. All right, and then once he cuts it, the hammerpede regrows its head and slips into the suit and enters the idiot's mouth, choking him to death. So it can regrow its head.
Yeah, and it's the only thing with acid for blood besides...
Yeah.
They naturally got it from the goo.
Yeah.
Okay, what was this before the goo?
Before the goo?
It was a flatworm is what you said.
Yeah, they're like flatworms.
Okay,
They're
so
worms in the ground, you know?
I had this question when I watched it. How the fuck did he get inside the suit?
I
It's
think
a spacesuit. It's airtight.
from the scene, when he breaks it, the piece of bone comes out of the
I
suit.
didn't see that.
Apparently it's in there.
Maybe I just wasn't paying attention.
I
Any of
don't.
the 5 times I watched this movie.
But like,
I should be the
and then it
subject matter.
disappears. It disappears. It goes swimming in the black goo.
Yeah.
By the way, once you've been infected with the black goo, can you be more infected? Can you get more fucked up?
Apparently not. It just lives in the black goo now.
This is really weird.
Yeah, it doesn't really make much sense.
Like-
As I said, the black goo is magic. It has whatever power or no power that the writer thinks it needs to have in that exact moment.
Yeah.
It's
He
a
needed
plot
something
device.
to hunt these two.
Yeah. So let's create this weird snake thing that is supposed to look like a facehugger. It's designed to look like a facehugger.
Yeah.
And we all know that. Why does it have acid for blood? Because the xenomorphs did. But what makes no sense is it having acid for blood and it looking like a facehugger, considering those two things don't even exist yet.
Nope. Or they do. There's that mural.
I think that's a red herring somehow. I think it's like the skull and Predator
God.
2. Because it's just like, clearly, by Covenant standard, David seemed to invent them.
Yeah.
So maybe
We'll get to that.
maybe it's the Deacon or something. I don't know. It looks so different though. But
It's artistic interpretation, Jared.
oh god, no.
Now the zombie. Okay? The crew member who got his face melted off, Sean Fifield? Fifield, yeah. When trying to cut the hammerpede off of Milburn, the acid burns his helmet into his face and he falls into the black goo.
So if you're dead and in the black goo, you become a zombie.
He disappears, but then he later reappears crumpled in front of the Prometheus, and he's really crumpled.
I like the use of the word crumpled here.
Yeah. Having mutated by the goo, he is deformed and begins murdering several of the crew members. He's capable of surviving being ran over, shot, but finally dies when gets burnt by a flamethrower.
So the same trope that we talked about last time, how flamethrowers are the recurring weapon in this franchise for
And
some
that
reason.
makes no sense. It makes sense in Alien and Aliens, right?
Mhm, yep.
Because in Alien, it's what they have. It's what they can put together
That's
to
what they
fight.
could make in this towing rig, you know?
Yeah. And in an Aliens, it makes sense. The colonial marines who fight on the surface of a planet.
Yep,
And they say this weapon is to, like, be for security.
No, they're terrible for that.
They're terrible.
A flamethrower's primary use should be for terrain advantage. Right?
Yeah.
To destroy brush, to set brush fires for.
There's plenty of that on this planet.
Yeah, to create smoke and to do all that stuff. That is what a flamethrower's primary use is. It's not a security weapon. It's generally a
Imagine if
weapon.
your cop had a flamethrower.
I'd be like, cool, bro. What you gotta do with that?
What? Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh my god.
But like the zombie always was like the one enemy that really confused me because I always think it's just put in here because they wanted a moment of tension in this.
Absolutely. Like, he disappears. They don't explain how he gets to the ship.
Yeah,
either.
No, he's just there.
Yeah.
And the movie. Okay.
And they telegraph that by the camera suddenly turning on.
Yes.
Which doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So before we go any further, I would like to just say what I hate about the movie real quick.
Yes.
The zombie and talking about it is a prime example of why it has no tension. It's a movie that's billed as a horror movie, and the only bits of tension are when she cuts the xenomorph out, the squid baby out of her. And did you do a slide on the squid baby?
Of course I did a slide on the squid baby.
I want to learn more about the squid baby. This is the one scene I like from this movie. I want to learn more about that. And two, the only other bit is for the 1 minute the engineer is after her before the squid baby saves her.
There's never a moment where there's like a creature chasing them like in the original.
Yep.
Like the two we've just gone over. The Hammerpeed. He shows up, attacks, disappears, never comes back in the movie.
It's about a 6-minute scene.
Yeah.
The boyfriend when he gets sick, that's about a 2-minute scene.
Yeah.
The zombies in it for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, they keep showing new monsters.
Yeah,
basically.
and then the donut scene is terrible, and
we'll get to
famously the Prometheus school running away from things, and then we also have the engineer. For 2 minutes, it builds really good tension with the engineer, and then there's the squid baby shows up and ruins it, and then the Deacon at the end, which is pointless unless you go into the expanded universe.
Yes.
Which this doesn't really delve into. This is
it does. There's a bit I found.
You delved into that?
A little, only for that bit, because it explained the Deacon, and it was so dumb that I thought you would love it.
Probably not. Anyway, what are we going into? David feeling real rapey.
Yep, he's real rapey on this ship.
So he claims to be in love with Shaw in Covenant.
He does, but this is when he like roofies someone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's also rapey. He's just a rapey synth, you know?
He's just. I hate one of your fucking quotes here, but let's just continue.
So David brings the container back aboard and takes a drop on his finger and dips it into the crew member's drink. By the way, that's like by his head. He can see him like dip his finger in. Yeah. But he doesn't care for some reason.
This is when he's depressed.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know. Why didn't you do that off, like over here, like behind his back or something? No, he did it like in his face.
I think it's kind of supposed to show that the guy just doesn't want to live anymore after this for some reason. He's got a barren wife.
Because all the engineers he thought would have been alive by now.
Right, like there's no evidence.
Like he wanted them to be alive, but they're not.
It could have been 2,000 years, and they could have just died from old age for all you know.
Yeah, it's like what? Whatever.
So what would you think this was their home planet? Why would they send you there? They don't like you.
Yeah.
There's a trillion aliens cooler than you.
And after he gets roofied, he has sex with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And I have a question. What if he had gay sex?
Dude, I don't. That's the question I said I hated.
And of course, his sperm makes squid babies.
Yeah, because when he gets infected, his sperm makes squid babies. When the other guy gets infected, he becomes a zombie.
Yeah.
Just because that's what the plot wanted.
Though we never see the zombie have sex. That's the real thing. We need him to have gay sex.
He secretly had sex with Milburn off screen, and Milburn has a squid baby inside of him. That's all we need to know. I mean, the only gay characters in the Alien movies are from Covenant, and they're really poorly done.
Yeah, they really are.
Anyway.
So after being roofied, tentacles start wiggling out of his eyes, but he refuses to tell anyone.
And then, like, why would you do that and like sleep with your girlfriend if you see that?
He sees that after he sleeps with her.
But like, he was feeling off like right after drinking all that. He also just drank like 3 bottles of liquor by himself.
Yeah.
He ran out of liquor. Like, I don't know if you've ever drank that much and tried to. It doesn't work. It don't work anymore. It's done. It's tapped out. I have no. This man is superhuman just for that fact.
Hey,
Maybe the black goo made it.
Yes, the black goo made his dick so hard. It made him so horny.
Stop. Done. Moving on. Next, go.
And he goes to the ship but gets extremely sick. So he goes back to the human ship, and then he gets turned extra crispy.
Yeah. It's just a dumb scene. And the only reason he goes to the other ship is because the issue with the two where they're not coming in.
Yeah.
Then he goes there to check it, and he starts getting sick, and he comes back, and then
I think it's just to have a scene where she Weyland Yutani's Donna refuses to have him back on board and burns him, kind of like Ripley.
Yeah.
It's purely for that reason.
Yeah, Charlize Theron. I don't know her name. I'm just gonna call her Charlize Theron.
Yeah, I like her in Mad Max. I hate everything in this.
She was just such a bit character.
Yeah.
Like, you wasted Charlize Theron and Idris Elba, and earlier in the franchise, as I said, Ron Perlman, 3 of my favorite actors and actresses, on bad characters.
Yeah.
And then I love Michael Fassbender, but David sucks.
Yeah, he really does.
Anyway, the trilobite, or the squid baby, as we call it.
Yeah. So after a day after having sex with the infected crew member,
You're really focusing on the sex thing.
Sex, okay? So there's the movie.
There's a lot of sex in this movie for no reason.
For some reason in the middle, that like two separate couples have sex.
Ridley Scott just kind of got into that.
Idris Elba, for some reason, like, he has no reason to want sex.
I mean, he's the captain. He's supposed to be this badass, right?
Yeah, I don't.
So he's gotta,
So
get
after
trim.
Shaw, after having sex, the next day is 4 months pregnant, which the growth, like, the thing grows without any food or.
And it's huge. Like, when she pulls it out, it's big.
It's really fucking big. Like, it takes so long for.
4 months seems to be an understatement for that thing.
Yeah.
What is the gestation period of a trilobite?
I really don't know.
What is the gestation period of a human pillow hybrid?
And you would presume it would like burst out of the belly, right? Because that's where it's at.
Yeah.
But it's removed prematurely by Shaw.
The one good scene, as I said, where she uses the med bay that's not meant for women.
You could almost compare it to the chest burster scene, but it's different. It's unique. It's really like graphic, and you're like, ah.
And then she takes the umbilical cord, and rips it herself with her bare. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That scene is the one scene from this movie I can watch any number of times.
Just everything around that scene's awful.
I like the build up to it with like the rapey ass Ebola David, followed by every crew member just agreeing with him.
Yeah.
Every crew member just immediately was like, good idea.
That's also a thing this movie has a problem with. Like, the crew members. How many are here? How many are in the background?
Like, who were the 2 in the fucking rad suits?
That and who were the 2 hanging out with Weyland?
Maybe they're the same people.
I don't.
No, because that happens immediately after the scene.
Yeah. She, like, pushes him over, and then she goes running and finds Weyland.
Yeah, why would they just have him be in a room right off of it? Like, you would have him in a room, right? Like,
yeah.
It doesn't make sense for just big door opens, and, hi, I'm sitting here in cryosleep, and I'm 90,000 years old.
Yeah, he's got to wear a fucking...
Anyway, let's continue to talk about this one interesting portion.
So after removing it, the creature grows to, like, enormous size.
Like, size of, like, a small palm tree.
Yeah, and it's unleashed on the engineer, which it subdues and rapes. Which it does. Like,
it does the facehugger thing.
It's a facehugger.
It's just a huge facehugger.
And it implants a Deacon inside of it. It lacks any resemblance to the prehistoric creature it's named after, that's what the trilobite is. It's like a weird little...
the little...
Yeah, but... I don't know why they decided to call it that. It's got a big vagina mouth with eyeballs around it, because you see it when it's on the engineer. Mm-hmm. And it gets its sucker ready to implant into him.
So does only the trilobite and engineer specifically make a Deacon?
I don't know.
Is this the only trilobite in the universe?
Should be. Oh god, I hope. After implantation, it dies too. Oh god.
The dog's attacking my shoe.
We'll stop wearing shoes.
Okay, fine. Anyway, it dies after. It's like it does the facehugger thing. It gets the seed in there.
It should live. I would say it'd make it more interesting. Make it different.
They don't want different, right? They just wanted to make this cheap, like kind of reminiscent of Alien, but it's not. It really isn't. And then, like, And then they just kind of whatever.
Whatever. The most complicated life cycle of any animal, right?
Yeah, it's unneeded.
Now, the Deacon. Okay. So the Deacon cuts its way out of the host, which is the engineer, with the back of its sharp head.
Mm-hmm.
It has like a strange inner jaw. It's not quite like the facehugger jaw.
Yeah.
But when it comes out, it's like human size.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Yeah. There's not much to add on it except for that, but because that's all it is. At the end, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's a really pointless scene to show that.
Yeah.
Unless it comes back in other movies later on,
but no.
I don't think they're gonna do anything with it for the 2 Covenant sequels they have planned.
You could cut it out of the movie.
And the movie's still the same movie.
Yeah, it has no.
You could cut a lot of this movie out, and it's still the same movie.
You could cut out the like what I say they should have done is cut out the beginning bit with the engineer dissolving into the waterfall. What's the point? It'd be cooler as like a twist.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a dumb twist for the engineers to seed all life on Earth, but I don't know. It has no real point. Okay. So, 126 years later, this is the lore I kind of dug into. The crew of the Geryon lands and discovers LV-223. They begin searching for a human beacon and head into a mountain hoping to find it. This is where they begin to realize the mountain is alive.
Is the mountain the Deacon?
And they are inside an acid vein. One of the crew assumed that whatever was on the Wayland ship had mutated around it. So, this makes the reader assume that it is the Deacon and it grew to the size of a mountain.
Okay, so David's wrong. The Deacon is the ultimate killing machine. He needs to start breeding them instead. Somehow. He's
gotta follow that weird line of like, okay,
I gotta get a human, I gotta get 2 humans, I gotta give one of them a roofie of black goo, have him fuck the other human, we gotta take the thing inside of her, put it on an engineer, and then, boom. I'll have mountain-sized aliens I can drop on planets to single-handedly kill all life.
Yeah.
Like, that one of those wipes out a whole planet.
It's amazing. Like, and oh my god.
Like, so this is from a comic, I take it?
Yes, it's from a comic.
Okay, so the comics are all stupid, essentially.
Pretty much.
Like, I'm sure there's interesting ones, and don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's
different creators, and like, you have so many hands.
There's bound to be a lot of stupid, like Jerry and Mozart.
How dare you, Jerry?
Space Ninjas.
Jerry is wonderful. Okay, if someone can get me that statue, I'll love you forever.
How about the Deacon Jerry combo?
Ooh, what if we
mountain-sized Jerry?
Yes. What he needs they have to like crane in a cigar.
Do they explain like any bit of why it looks the way it does?
No.
It looks so interesting.
It does.
I really wish that look was expanded upon.
But it doesn't do anything.
Do we get into neomorphs?
Next one's David.
But no more neomorphs?
The neomorphs come later. That's like a Covenant thing.
Okay, I don't know what order you did this, I was just asking. Because I also was curious about those.
I was kind of divided into 2, like the Prometheus first, and we'll deal with the Covenant. But
why did you mention his favorite movies, Lawrence of Arabia? Okay, so this is my favorite character.
Oh, yeah.
By favorite, you mean the reason why the movie sucks.
The reason why the movie exists, or why anything happens.
So, my least favorite thing about Prometheus, besides the script, is the fact that for some reason they had to make a synth the ultimate evil in the universe.
Yeah.
There should have been an ultimate evil, in my opinion. Right? The xenomorph should have been made by accident.
Yeah.
And then they should have wiped out the engineers.
And
then we found them by accident. And now they're going to wipe out us.
Or not even like they're created. We find them.
I don't mind if they're like I don't mind them being created by engineers. That is fine, right? Engineers can be like the idea behind an engineer is like they're a race that experiments with DNA.
Yeah.
And all this stuff. And if they created the ultimate killing machine by accident and it killed them, it would be tragic and interesting.
It would be cool if they found like a different species, like the proto-xenomorph, and they made it into the current xenomorph. To see the changes between the two. That would be kind of cool.
Not just like, but no. Fucking a synth finds black goo and then genetically breeds xenomorphs out of it.
He somehow makes them perfectly how we know it. Well,
Yep.
not perfectly.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the we'll get to it.
Yeah.
I do cover that in this.
All right. Anyway, let's get in on this. The best character. Now, granted, I hate the character David. I love Michael Fassbender's performance as David. I think he acts really well.
He does.
It's not an acting
And-
thing.
Obviously, he's really good as Walter.
Yeah. When he's playing two characters simultaneously, that was a really good scene. Besides the kiss, every scene with those two in it, besides the kiss, is really good. And it's very difficult to do stuff like
That's
that.
in the next slide.
I'm sure it is, but I'm just trying to say, I'm giving compliments because I shit on this movie so much that I have to say what I do like about it. I do like Michael Fassbender's acting. I just wish David had a fucking point. Like, just give him a motive that's not, I wasn't created to be a servant. Like, his motive is, I want to be God. That's his motive. And that's a shit motive. There's nothing intrinsically valuable in that.
Anyway. So yeah, he's an android and served as a template for the future modules such as David 8 and Walter model lines.
I really wish it was like David ATE. David 8. What did he eat? David 8.
I hate you.
I hate me too, but we're doing this together, so you're in it for the long haul.
Yeah, he's unique as a synthetic, as he's creative and has emotional capabilities unlike the commercial models. Why?
Like, I think they're gonna say his emotional nature is what makes him evil, but that's stupid. That's like saying humans are evil because we're emotional. We're not.
Yeah, everyone around him's not evil.
Right? Why is his emotional? Is it because he's too smart and too emotional and that just makes him like fucking crazy? Who knows?
He is.
Anyway.
Yeah, he was personally created by Wayland.
Is Wayland actually smart?
I don't believe he is.
Like, is he an inventor or an engineer or anything, or is he just a guy with money who buys stuff like Cave Johnson?
I would assume that he like at least made the synthetics.
I really want because that's the one question I've always had about Wayland and Weyland-Yutani is Wayland even like is he just a guy with money? Is he?
Maybe I'll cover that.
Elon Musk or Cave Johnson? Which one is he?
Well, Cave Johnson is a genius, of course. Like we need Bugman.
Yeah, why is there no Bugman in this franchise in the movies, Cole? Why is it only in that one comic
They're
series?
not good. They're just not good, you know? They're not good without Bugman.
Bugman improved everything. Also, Mantis Man.
Yeah, David is annoyed that he has to serve humans despite him being able to live forever and his creators being short-lived.
Like
his favorite movie is Lawrence of Arabia.
Which is why. Did you mention that he likes the bird things?
No,
That's important. That's important that he likes the bird things.
Is it important?
It's recurring. It's happened in both movies. It's important.
Wasn't it in the original Alien? Like they had that on the ship?
Yeah.
Maybe David was on that ship.
Maybe Ash is actually just David in disguise.
Yeah. He took off his face and put on that face.
Why didn't they get Nicolas Cage to play David?
So he's able to understand.
Just ignoring me?
Oh my god.
Okay, continue.
He's able to understand the engineer's language by studying old human languages.
And that was my question. Was like he said he spent 200 years studying ancient languages, and now he thinks he can speak it. Why? Why do you assume Aramaic, Egyptian,
Chinese,
Babylonian, Greek, and Latin are all gonna fucking help you understand an alien species?
Also, Hawaiians in there.
Like why? Like why would that help? It shouldn't help you.
Yeah.
It shouldn't.
And the first time he meets an engineer, it's perfect.
Right? And it sounds nothing like ancient languages.
No.
It does. It sounds like some made up bullshit. Because it's some made up bullshit. It would been really smart. Like they hadn't speak Aramaic, you know.
Yeah.
And he spoke Aramaic to it, and it kind of understood him and looked a little suspicious, but like got the gist.
Yeah,
of what
he's kind of like turning his head back and forth, and he's like switching.
Yeah,
languages.
he didn't just instantly caress his face.
He knows how to fly an engineer ship, which that's like a bigger leap. So I understand the language. I can fly a ship.
So, I think that's supposed to be like he learned how to do it in the fucking hologram, and the fact that he has access to the internal computer system.
He was busy caressing the orb.
Yeah, right. Like, for some odd reason, there's some orb that just does nothing.
I love that scene.
You love every scene in this movie. It's your favorite movie, Cole, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's the ultimate meme.
See, like, the reason I can watch this movie a lot because there's at least stuff to talk about.
There's a lot to
Every single time I get something I want to talk about with this movie.
He loves basketball, apparently. He loves
Why is the alien trope to make people play basketball when they're especially talented.
Ripley 8 does it.
Yeah, the Ripley alien hybrid does it.
Yeah, David does it.
David does it.
I'm gonna have her.
Those are the only two superhuman characters, really. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna have her and Michael Fassbender sign a basketball.
We ever meet him?
Yeah.
Sigourney Weaver and Michael Fassbender.
I'm gonna sign a basketball.
The same basketball.
Yes, they have to be the same.
I would have her sign the dumbbell that hits her in the face. For some odd reason, they just pop, and she's just like, why? Doesn't make sense. Also, she's bad at basketball.
Yeah, doesn't she double dribble?
Yeah, she's playing against no one. She does a crossover, gathers the ball, stands there for a second, and then starts dribbling again, which is a foul.
At least David's doing it like on a bike while reading.
David's like just doing hook shots over his shoulder on a bike, and you're just like, okay, that actually is a little impressive.
Yeah.
But like, why? Like, we're about to be told he's a synthetic, which makes it not impressive at all.
That's part of his hobbies. He likes basketball, commits genocide.
The two go hand in hand.
Spends 10 years creating predomorphs on a planet 4.
When I think, hold on, we'll get to that.
Yes.
When I think genocide, I think Michael Jordan. They go hand in hand.
Yeah. Genocide, Lawrence of Arabia, basketball.
Genetic mutations.
Yeah.
All go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So wait, so it's a predomorph?
We'll get into that.
What? Why is it called Planet 4?
That's what they named the planet in Covenant.
This is like Planet 51?
Yes.
Or is this the same universe? Please tell me Planet 51 takes place.
What's Planet 51?
It's that dumb animated movie. It's really actually cute where the astronaut from the 50s goes on to an alien planet. And like they're in the 50s and it's like this huge big thing. And that has the green people and the one alien kid likes them. It's a really charming movie. I always say dumb, but it's a good movie.
It's for kids, right?
Yeah, but it's really cute because it's like it's the reverse trope of like we're the advanced life form landing on the alien planet instead of an alien landing on Mars.
Yeah.
And they're back in like the 1950s. They're having grills. They drive like old style cars, which doesn't make any sense considering they're tentacled people and they wouldn't have the same technology we have because we evolved.
Yeah, but that's
the
in the alien universe. I'll fit it into the timeline. I'll shove that son of a bitch in here.
Yeah, it takes place in like 2008 or something like that.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's not like the Predator.
And I hope they make a Predator sequel and ruin your timeline.
Damn it, no!
Unless somehow it's a Predator sequel in Blade Runner.
Or they either have to go to the future or be in the past. Do it during Vietnam.
They should go to feudal era Japan.
There you go.
Or just explain the AVP temples better.
Yeah, so David's life on Planet 4. So after Prometheus, Shaw reattaches his head.
Yeah.
He then convinces Shaw to enter the ship's hypersleep chamber.
Which I would never do.
Which doesn't make sense, right? Because he's like, I'm gonna force you to have this alien baby. I'm gonna fuck you up with it.
Yeah. Like, why does she trust him so much?
Especially after that scene. This is all after that.
Yeah. And like I understand he saved you from the engineer and all that.
Yeah.
But why trust him? He's done nothing that leads you to think
he's only ever worked for his own self-interest.
Yes. Why does he have his own self-interest?
I don't know.
Anyway, let's continue this.
Upon arriving on the planet, David makes the conclusion that engineers and humans are inferior to androids. So he takes the ship's cargo of black goo and wipes out the entire engineer civilization on Planet 4.
So what you're telling me is his plot is to kill life and create artificial life?
Yes.
I think I'm done.
Are you?
Like, why? Why is that? Why does he feel that way?
Also,
he like completely shit talks Walter the whole time too, and then builds him up and shit talks him, and then builds him up and shit talks him again.
Yeah, he's trying to make him understand like emotions and stuff, but Walter's just not built that way.
Yeah, he can't. Not everyone is you, David.
Also, I think in the previous movie they said like he finds their homeworld. How is this their homeworld? Like this super advanced race has like one shithole town with a temple
with no tech in it.
None.
Yeah, like besides that weird floating thing where the ship docks in. But that's the only piece of technology.
And none of the
and they don't have any anti-air guns.
They're all wearing like robes and like shitty clothes. Like why?
maybe since they went to LV 4.2 whatever 4.2.3, and maybe since then and the Alien Covenant beginning, right? Pre-scene, the 10 years prior, maybe they evolved past the need for technology at this point.
Oh, they're like
the one aliens from Star Trek that can never.
Oh my god, no.
Yeah, like they reached the pinnacle of tech, and then they said, no, we don't need this anymore, and now we're living primitive lives again. Like they did the full life cycle.
Amish.
Yeah, they went Amish on us.
Yeah, they make really good furniture. David then claims the temple as his lab.
Why do they have a temple? What do they worship?
I don't know.
They essentially view themselves as the gods of the universe in this
They have
planet.
no reason to worship anything.
Exactly. They create life on their own. They don't need to worship a god.
And they begin studying the fauna and flora and fungi.
Yeah. Which
also using the goo to experiment on what's left of the inhabitants, which...
There's nothing left of engineers.
Well, I don't know. He has the jars of the neomorph, like what he had before, and they're all fucked up. Kind of reminds me of the Ripley like clone scene.
Mm-hmm.
But like, where did he make those? How?
Also, he had Shaw's DNA to experiment with too.
She is like all dissected.
Yeah. Why would you just leave her body there? You should hide it.
Eventually, he kills Shaw, dissected her, but making a grave and mourning her death.
Yeah, claiming he loved her.
Yeah, that's why I fucking opened her guts up.
Mm-hmm. Also, why does his hair grow?
He's a robot, right?
He's a synthetic human, so maybe not. I don't know.
Does he grow beard hair?
He implies he shaves at one point.
Yeah.
Also, why did he have bleached tips? Also, the blonde hair would be way more grown out after 10 years. It'd be gone.
Really?
But why does he still have blonde hair? Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Because his hair's dyed, clearly, right? Because it's brown in this movie.
Oh, yeah. Why don't they just let him have his natural hair?
Because Waylon likes blonde people? I don't fucking know.
Is that his kink?
He wants his beautiful son to be blonde.
Like
his daughter's blonde, maybe. So maybe he wanted his son to match.
I don't know.
He does refer to David as his son for some reason.
Eventually, David's able to create several eggs, but had to wait for a viable host for them. And
the viable host is...
humans.
Orlo.
Oh, yeah.
The dumbass captain.
Oh, yeah. And he's pointing the fucking gun at him as, like, David's caressing the neomorph's face, and it's, like, loving it. It's like, why would... just shoot both of them.
Breathe on a horse, and it shall be yours.
Yeah,
and then, like, it's legitimately a callback to Alien Resurrection.
Is it?
Yeah, because in Alien Resurrection, the scientist breathes on the queen.
Oh, my God.
Remember that? Yeah, so it's a callback to that shot. Why? No idea. Why call back to the worst other Alien movie? Don't know, but they do. Prometheus is a very well-made movie. Covenant's a very well-made movie.
Well-made, like, cinematography.
Special effects, acting, everything's good about them. Except the writing.
Yeah, the cheapest part. The writing.
And then, my biggest problem with them is just they're not really needed. Either. They're not fun, they're not interesting, and they're not needed.
They're not needed in the universe.
Covenant starts off really good, gets really shitty, and has a fun ending, but it's kind of boring throughout for the most part. I do like how it starts by killing James Franco.
They turn him to a crisp. He's in that little sleepy thing, and he gets burnt. Yep. Just like that, but they go back to show a video, and it's James Franco.
Yeah, like you can't see who it is in that, and then then Daniels looks at her little like memory clips of him, and it's James freaking Franco.
Maybe this was between all of his college degrees.
Right, I don't think he's gone back to college recently.
Well,
I mean, it's 2017, so I have no idea.
Yeah, he can't now.
No, you can do it online still.
Okay.
Anyway, where are we at? Eventually, David is able to create several eggs.
Yeah. Upon the Covenant arriving on the planet. Oops.
David saves the crew members by scaring away the neomorph. Which, Walter loses his hand in the fight. And why are they afraid of flares?
I don't know. And how would David know that they were... Oh, I guess he was making them, kinda?
He never made a neomorph. The neomorph came from the spores going into a human.
Yeah.
So he would have no experience with a neomorph.
Really. He would never have no experience with that neomorph.
Yes.
He has, like, the fucked up one in the jar, but does he, like, shine lights at them? Like, I'm gonna fuck with you.
I think it's the heat from the flare.
Is it?
It's implying, like, the flamethrower weakness again.
Okay.
I think that's what it's going for. It just never really clarifies that. And that's another problem. There's a lot of stuff they seem to just imply that you can imply stuff. Movies should imply a lot of things and let people figure it out, right? But have the same level of mystery throughout, right? Don't imply some things and then outright say things, which I'll bitch about later. But, like, you can't just...
I think you might as well mention that, like, at the end...
I'm not going to go to the end right now. I'm going to go to the spores.
Okay.
Because you can, like, they imply that we should know why.
Oh, you talking about the little CGI scene in the ear?
Yeah, where it goes, like the guy steps on the spores. You blatantly see it as he does the smoke ring, which, okay, that's a little cheesy and stupid, whatever. We don't need that. That's fine, though, because it shows it's there and we can see it. We don't need the scene where it flies in his ear and goes in his pore, and then he touches his ear.
Yeah.
It's like, we can imply that he breathed it in.
If you cut that out, you could understand it. And then they do it a second time with a guy in his nose.
Yeah, and you see it go in his nose. You don't see it go inside the pore or anything, or inside.
You see like the little speckles, and then he like wipes his nose.
Yeah, he goes his nose like this, and then it's done. Like, but if you take out if you take out the seed of the spore directly and you just have him wipe his nose, it creates a sense of mystery. Like, why just wipe his nose? And then when it starts happening to him later, if you weren't paying as much attention, it creates this this through line of, if you pay attention, well, you learn more about the movie, and if you don't pay attention, you get these surprises that are entertaining to you. Mm-hmm. Right? So either way you watch the movie, you get something out of that experience. So it creates this like dynamic where you can pay attention or not pay attention, and it creates a different experience, which movies should have, right? If you pay attention to Sixth Sense, you get a much different experience than someone who doesn't.
Yeah. Because if you pay attention to Fight Club,
yeah, you get a much different experience than someone who doesn't. Which the movie could have done. It could have done that the whole time, right? Especially the ending with David and Walter being switched potentially.
Yeah, by the end they swap. They have a fight.
And David swaps places with his identical twin Walter. And my problem with the reveal is that they should have just left it a mystery and let the bird thing, because we use the bird thing.
Yeah, you see the bird, you see him hum a little bit.
You see him humming some music, and at the end you just have him outright hum the song "Soldiers March into Valhalla," the song he taught Walter on recording.
Yeah.
It could be like, why is Walter humming that? He did learn the song.
So you could almost be like, is Walter becoming more like David?
Yeah, or the people who paid attention and noticed the bird thing, noticed all the little more David-esque mannerisms, could know that that's David going into the next movie.
And make
it creates
more,
this mysterious.
You could have a lot more theories and ideas, and you have more to work with. But now, no.
Also, you just watched David vomit up some eggs, and it's fucking stupid. Anyway.
So they take them to his home. He begins to grow a bond with Walter by blowing his flute and reminiscing about mass murder.
Stop making stuff sound sexual, Cole. They play the recorder, and he teaches Walter, who only has one hand at this point, to play Soldiers March on Valhalla.
Yeah, he fills his holes.
Into Valhalla.
Yeah, he fills the flute holes for him.
Which is why I said that if you just had him hum that song, both of them know this song at this point. Right?
Yep.
So it could be either character still, but that's more interesting than having him having Daniels freak out, David, no, let me out. And then having him straight up change the password to David, vomit up xenomorph eggs for some fucking reason, and then just play the song outright,
Yeah.
It's much more of this subtle nod to who knows what it is leading into the next film. It creates this mystique that, I want to figure that out. My brain will keep thinking. And people will theorize till the end of time about it.
There's a dozen YouTube channels just for that shit.
Yes, and that's a good thing, because that builds a hype. Now, granted, you don't want that sometimes. Sometimes you don't. But this movie could have done with it. You could have done with some mystique, because it really lets you down on the final half of this movie.
Yeah.
And really makes me not excited for whatever sequel.
I do really like the David Walter kiss. I love it. During that movie, I straight out laughed.
It's legitimately a full 10-second kiss.
We watched it together, by the way. We sat down. Neither of us had watched it before, and we're like, all right, fuck it. We're just all going to watch it together. And I straight up laughed.
We went in kind of negative. I will note. We went in looking to be down on the film.
I was really looking for it.
And I was pleasantly surprised for a lot of it. I was pleasantly
during the beginning, it's fine.
I'm like, oh, this is interesting. My Billy's favorite part of it, besides the Walter David kiss, which pissed me the fuck off, is the fact that the only reason they don't use helmets is so the plot can happen.
Absolutely. I was pointing that out, and you're like, oh, it's fine, maybe not, and then that would have distinctly saved them.
Yes, and that's the only reason I was upset with that. If they say the spores went in through their hands or went in, could even go inside a suit, right?
Yeah,
that would be fine. I wouldn't care, right? But the fact is, the only reason they do not wear spacesuits is so the plot could happen.
And if you go on an alien planet, you wear a fucking spacesuit. It doesn't matter.
We were having this conversation about why they weren't wearing spacesuits. It's like, oh, they already tested the atmosphere. They know it's safe. He said, what about some alien spores or something? And that ended up being the fucking plot.
Yeah, what about some genome or some virus or something that you get infected with an alien?
You legitimately mentioned spores. You said plant spores, and I was like, oh, whatever. And then that was the plot, and it pissed me off that you were right.
Oh my god!
And I was looking for this, just something a little bit more creative. I knew David was coming back, and I was hoping they would give us more answers, not just more questions.
Yeah.
And anyway,
Yeah, he sexually, kisses him. They make out. Then he grabs his ass, and then he stabs him.
but Walter can self-heal for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Why did they add that feature? And then it's not in Ash, Bishop, or Null.
No.
So why did they get rid of?
That's such a weird scene. It's like I don't know.
It's a feature that you would think they would keep, right?
I would want all my.
I mean, granted, Bishop and Ash never had the chance to regenerate.
No, they kind of had their heads ripped off.
But Null gets shot and never does it. Why was that?
Yeah.
And granted, she was made by other synths, so maybe, but I don't know. It's a feature that's definitely lost in the older movies, which you can't introduce a feature in a prequel that isn't in the future movies. That's the problem with doing a prequel with better technology. Is you have these ideas like, oh, we should do this and that and this and that, but it just doesn't work. It's like the problem with some of the Batman prequels, the Batman Arkham game prequels. That sometimes they have to explain why Batman has more or less tech in different games, and it kind of gets this weird feeling. And that's the same thing. Why don't the future versions of this have this?
Yeah.
And then he convinces Orlo to look in a fucking egg.
Yep.
And it pisses me the hell off because the guy has a gun pointed at him,
but
then he also talks about how he's a man of God throughout the whole movie.
So
he's a man of faith. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's somehow curious about this crazy synthetic, clearly playing God, right? And a man of faith would not be interested in that. A man of faith would instantly reject that idea. If it was a pure scientist, right? They had Jay Franco's character was supposed to be a pure scientist, right? The captain and a scientist, and he was interested, would make more sense. But the fact that they have a man of faith do it pissed me the fuck off.
Yeah, Dr. Manhattan get a face hugger on his face.
Yeah, and then it creates the Praedomorph.
Yeah, and by the way, at the end, he throws up perfectly sized facehugger eggs that fit alongside the human fetuses, which that never happens until that point. They never allured to this tiny xenomorph facehugger thing.
It doesn't even make sense because they're not even in embryonic sex. They're in a rock.
Yeah, they're in a little thing, and
because the ones in there are frozen embryos, right?
Yeah. Which
makes sense because there's a thing we do. We can put embryo in ice. Yeah. Right? That's the science thing. They're trying to cryostasis freeze embryos.
How would he know to have it that perfect size?
His ship wasn't. The Covenant is a colonization ship, and his ship was a science ship, and they should be completely different. And he should know nothing about. Maybe he hacked Walter's memory or something. And when did he have the chance to swallow them? And when did any of this happen? Because legitimately, he kills Walter, runs out having to pretend to be Walter after chopping off his own hand because he had to chop off his own hand. To pretend to be Walter. So he kills Walter, chops off his own hand. Runs out to help them with the Praedomorph fight. Yeah. But, where's the time that he runs? Did he have him in there the whole time? The whole movie, they're in there. Yeah. That's the only explanation I can give. And it just doesn't make sense.
So next, I go over the spores.
Also, he claims that all 2,000 members of the Covenant, the colonists, died. Yeah. So I'm guessing he's using that to turn them all into
creatures and the monsters and all that.
Yeah. While they're in the cryo chamber still.
I don't. Does he grow humans to be hosts to make more xenomorphs?
Well, it seems like what he's taken is those 2,000 that were still alive at the end, and he's turned them all in. But he didn't say that Tennessee or Daniels died. Those two are still alive in his log.
Odd.
They're the only two people he left alive in the log. If we remember at the log at the end, he goes, only 2 crew members left alive.
Technically speaking, since Walter's self-healing, is he still alive on Planet Fortress, alone and where'd everyone go?
He's killed off camera for a reason, right? Besides the mystery, he's killed off camera because you can't kill a self-healing thing. Yeah. So it's kind of like we cheated the death of this character. And there's no after credit scene to show him.
They could have acid blood. You have a xenomorph.
Yeah, but no. But in his final log, he says all crew members besides Captain Daniels and and assistant captain or Captain Junior Tennessee. Yeah. Perished. All 2,000 colonists perished in the accident as well. Yeah. So those two are still alive in his log for his first update since taking over for Walter. Why?
I don't.
He doesn't plan on killing them. Are those two supposed to be the main characters in the next one? Daniels instantly knows it's him. He already revealed it because. Yeah. Why? And also, why is he suddenly a bad actor?
Yeah, he suddenly he doesn't. What she mentioned the log cabin.
She goes Walter, when we get there, can you help me build my log cabin? And he has confusion come across his face. One, he wouldn't.
He would just be like, yeah, we'll build a log cabin, sure.
And she'll say, by the lake? Yes, by the lake. And that's my Walter voice. I hope it was pretty good.
Okay.
But, like, he'll say, yes, by the lake. And then she'll say, thank you, Walter. And she'll go the fuck to sleep.
Yeah.
But nope, he suddenly gets confused as if he doesn't, like, he can't act. Like, he isn't pretending to be someone for the past 2 days.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Anyway, on to the next thing, which is the
spores.
fucking spores. The worst CGI in this film.
Absolutely. Like the weird, creepy, in the ear shit. And they're very, like, the spores start in, like, the little mushrooms that are, like, ping pong sized.
Yes.
And when a potential host comes near them, they release a bunch of microscopic spores called motes into the air.
Does mote stand for something?
No. I just capitalized it.
Because it sounds stupid?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Motes. But there's, like, the things on the ground aren't spores, by the way.
Yeah. No, they're like...
They're sacks.
They're like
and
sacks.
the things they really should be spores. But anyway.
I think they are, but I just... Fuck this movie.
Who cares?
It's whatever.
We've seen Covenant once each. Together. And we were both... We had a decent time.
Yeah.
Better than Prometheus.
Oh my god.
But not according to Rotten Tomatoes.
No, for some reason on Rotten Tomatoes,
Prometheus is the third best movie in the franchise. As I said, if you like the movie and you're listening to me say this and complain, defend it. I would like to hear your arguments.
Yeah.
I genuinely do not like it, but I'm always open-minded. I'm a very critical person. I watch everything from this logical, analytical mind of mine.
Yes.
And I'm hypercritical of everything. And I can take out my own emotions and everything from it and watch it and just try to enjoy it, and I can't.
Yeah.
I'm a lover of Alien, and this movie tries to be Alien and fails in every single step.
Yeah.
We're almost done.
But also, we are not starting a Prometheus podcast. This is it. Okay? No, we're not.
We could talk about Prometheus for days.
I'm done.
But we don't want to, because it's
exhausting.
So me and Cole used to work at the same place.
Yeah.
Right? And we were talking about movies, and we got on Prometheus. He had never seen it. I had seen it 4 times at the time. And I told him it was dog shit. I hated it. I never wanted to watch it again.
Right? I didn't really believe him. I'm like, it can't be bad.
It's an Alien franchise movie. It's probably at least Resurrection level, right? That's your expectations, right?
Yeah.
And the problem with it is that I'm trying to get all my Prometheus hate out right now, by the way.
Okay.
The problem with it isn't that it's
not dumb action. It's dumb
science. It's science mumbo jumbo. It's all architect speak from Matrix 2.
Yeah.
Like, it's all just no one's saying anything that actually means anything. A bunch of scenes that don't matter, and it leads to an ending that's anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Right? And the problem with that is you can lead to an ending that's anticlimactic if the movie was good, or you have a very climactic ending in a bad movie, and it fills you with this good feeling. It's like, at least the ending was good.
Yeah.
Right? Nope, this movie ends very boringly. No tension, no drama, and it just kind of is so flat throughout that it just is so much worse than a badly made stupid movie.
Like the climax of the donut falling on them, right?
Why does she run straight? Why is the one that falls get away, but the one that's running still never think I could run left?
Yeah.
Right? Like there's so much the tension that comes from it, and most of the points is unneeded and just thrown in there to feel tense.
Like compare the climax to Covenant is really fun actually. Like the xenomorph climbing up on the ship and them fighting it.
And then the xenomorph in the airlock and they're fighting it in the ship and the sex scene kill. But
yeah.
I like that kill though, where he punches the tongue through the thing
glass,
and it kills the dude through the head, and she's like.
I do not like the tail underneath.
Yeah, like the telegraphing it to the girl, and she was just confused about it, and she sees it, and she doesn't tell her boyfriend immediately for some reason.
But
Jussie Smollett. Jussie Smollett, so fuck you, Jussie Smollett.
But that's a fun ending compared to fucking Prometheus.
Yes, which is there's no fight, there's nothing. Like think of the ending of
there
one.
There is the engineer fight where she's on top of them, then unleashes the trilobite and runs off. Yeah,
but there's no fight there. It's a minute.
Yeah.
Like the ending of Covenant's 15 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
The ending of 1 where she's chasing and trying to get in the airlock, tense as shit. The ending of 2 with the power loader fight, awesome.
Yeah.
Even the ending of Alien 3 where she jumps in, that's really tense and it ends on this mystery. Alien Resurrection where they kill the big alien they kill the newborn with the hole in the wall.
Yeah, it's
the ending
beautiful.
of AVP, the ending of all these films is tense.
Yeah.
It has some sort of action sequence, but Prometheus doesn't.
No, it really doesn't.
It just falls flat. And as I said, if you listen to this and like the movie, defend it. I will
don't.
listen to all arguments. I won't debate. I want to like movies. I want to like every movie I watch. I
Yeah,
don't, but I want to.
I wish I was that dumb.
Anyway,
So yeah, the fucking spores go through any orifice that the host might have. And
yes, and we
gestates in
watch
them.
it legitimately go inside someone's pore.
Yep. And then we move on to the bloodburster, which is what it is called.
I like this. This was cool.
Yeah.
It ripping out of the spine was awesome, and the spikes jutting out first.
Yeah.
Oh, that was.
And it grows spikes because it's in the spinal cord.
Which makes sense. This was a shot that I really liked. Up until this point, I really liked this movie.
Yeah.
When I saw this, I was like, "Oh, this is awesome."
Sorry. But like the embryonic sac that they fall onto and they kind of rip out of.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool.
It makes sense for it to be on the spine too, because it enters through like the neuro system and not through the stomach or the chest. And it makes sense.
Doesn't the guy who gets it in the nose it bursts out of his head?
Yes.
That's
and
cool.
It changes and it looks a little different based on where it went in, which makes so much more sense. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we just mentioned all that.
Yeah,
Once it's birthed, it's like a quadruped and it can kind of defend itself actually pretty well.
Yeah, it's got the scorpion tail. It's pretty aggressive.
It can take
got
bullets
spikes.
like a champ.
I think it's meant to not be getting hit by the bullets, and it's just like it reacts though, and it's a badly done shot.
It makes it. It looks like it's getting shot.
Oh, it does look like it. I'm not discrediting whether or not it looks like it's getting shot. I'm saying I don't think it was meant to be getting shot.
Yeah, and the next slide is it full grown.
The neomorph.
Yes.
Which looks a lot worse than the bloodburster does, but it still looks interesting. Its head is, oh my god, okay, if you're watching the YouTube version and for Cole right now, that bottom right one looks stupid as shit.
Yeah, it's like, it's really.
That's right before Orlo shoots it.
Yeah,
its mouth's open and everything, right? Oh, it's after it got shot the first time.
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks bad. I don't like how it's like a perfectly round head.
And then the thing jets off.
Yeah.
Like in the artist rendition up top, it looks pretty okay.
Yeah, the artist rendition's cool.
And the middle one, because it's not like this directly side of it shot.
Yeah,
it looks interesting.
It's creepy and
it looked like if this was hunting them throughout, it'd be a scary movie.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah. Yeah. And
David is.
Yeah.
David's the horror villain.
Yeah, and when it's covered in blood, it kind of makes it look really cool.
It looks like a fucking necromorph sometimes.
Yeah.
From Dead Space. It does. It has that same like white with the blood on it and wide mouth. It looks like it'd be a really good horror movie or horror game character.
Yeah. For some reason it doesn't attack David. I mentioned this in the slide.
Yeah, they almost like it's a callback to Resurrection.
They almost kiss.
He's blowing on it like it's a horse for some reason, as if that's what these are, but they're not.
I should have blown the mic.
Yeah, I'll keep that one in for you.
Okay.
I'll make sure to keep that one in. What time?
If I do blow, no, sorry about that.
I'll mention them. Okay, I got it mentally marked down. I know what time it's at.
Okay. Oh god. Then, immediately after killing the neomorph, they just make a praetomorph.
Yeah.
Which is what I think it's what the fan community has called it because it's obviously different.
Yes.
Because it doesn't have the chest burster, and the chest burster being like a tentacle snake-like creature that it later turns into.
But this one's better than.
It grows so much faster.
Yeah, like this one is an improvement over the xenomorph.
Yeah, it grows. How fast does it grow, by the way?
It seems like minutes.
Yeah.
Like it's not really well shot because everything's shot super inside, so you don't see the sky or anything. So you can't tell if day passed or not. Or you do see some shots where there's light in there, but the light always looks like it's from the moon, not from the sun. So I can't tell you, but it really feels like it's two scenes.
Yeah.
Right. It's the Orlov gets it on him,
and
it pops out. It goes and hides. There's the scene where they cut away where he gets rapey with Daniels.
Yeah.
And then it cuts back to the soldiers hunting for Orlo, and it's full grown now.
By the way, it looking small, I thought it looked awful.
It doesn't look good, but it's definitely more mobile and more skilled than the fucking original chest burster.
It's like a tiny little puppet. It's like Chucky running across the floor.
Yeah,
you know what'd be interesting if they shown it growing. If it really is meant to take place in like minutes, it like,
yeah, like ripping out of its own body.
Kind of like a werewolf scene, you know, when it's like transforming. Why not it transforming to full size? That'd be kind of cool.
It's when Crooked Man appears in The Conjuring 2.
I've never seen that.
So there's this like, it looks like a little kid, right? And the crooked
Yeah.
man's like 7 feet tall, has a broken neck and really long limbs.
Okay.
So all you see is its neck hangs down, its arms extend, and its body just unfurls from the spine, and you can hear it snapping and extending. It's The Conjuring 2 is not a good movie, but it's one of the few good scenes in it.
Okay. Kind of like the only good scene in Prometheus is the.
Yeah, I watch a lot of movies, and a lot of movies have 1 or 2 good scenes in their shit.
Yeah. They make that scene. They have that one idea, and they build the movie around it.
Right? Like, but no, the Conjuring franchise is interesting.
Okay.
We could delve into that one day, because there's like 7 movies.
Oh god.
There's all the Annabelles, all the Conjurings, and Curse of La Llorona.
So yeah, this is like the precursor to the current Xenomorph. It almost has to be because of that little bit.
But like, this franchise, one of its main goals is this segment of the franchise. One of its main goals is to explain how the Xenomorph eggs got to LV-426, right?
Yes.
That's one of the main goals that they stated when they were making these, and yet it seems nowhere close to explaining that.
No, I swear we're like 5 movies off from that. And also, like, the versions we've come across are better.
Yeah.
The Deacon grows to a mountain, which is yes, it's in the comic, but
like, that's the only canon we can grab from that. That's the only canon we can grab from that, you know?
Yeah.
And
then the Predomorph, it like grows super fucking fast.
Yes, its gestation period was a lot shorter. It was only on his face for like a little bit.
The Neomorph, if it does take it seems bulletproof.
Right? Except until it's full grown for some reason.
Yeah, then it's just brittle.
But like it doesn't make sense, because one, we need to get another engineer ship. It needs to have Xenomorph eggs on it, and it needs to have an engineer in it.
Yeah.
And we seem nowhere close to that, and that's my biggest problem with this.
We're absolutely nowhere near it.
And like the Predomorph was awesome. I really liked it. I really liked the 2 fights with it.
I kind of wish we would have gotten a fight between it and the Neomorph to like
establish which one's better.
Yeah, to establish that.
But as I said, I feel like they more wanted to establish Shaw than they wanted to. I mean Daniels rather than they wanted to establish the alien.
Yeah, I mean.
I said this privately, and I think that the final fight was to establish that Shaw is a badass like Ripley was, because that's what their whole goal seems to be.
They want to have the Xenomorph at full
power when it fights, you know, Shaw. Or like the Predomorph, legitimately, like the Neomorph could have been there, like oh no, there's another one, and then the Predomorph just rips it in half and goes like, I'm your enemy now, and that would have been awesome.
Kind of like Avengers 2.
Yeah.
Where Ultron gets ripped in half by the newer Ultron.
Yep. They could have had the Predomorph like sneaking up on them, like, and about to get him, and then it shoots the tongue out, and the tongue screams in her face. You know, that would have been a cool scene, and it would have called back to Aliens, and it would have been really well done, and it would have been would have been interesting. It would have been more interesting because the ending fights are good. Tennessee's flying is questionable, but the fights are good.
Yeah, and then it has a tiny Xenomorph, and after David took over the Covenant, he broadcast his findings to Weyland Yutani with the intent to continue his experiments on the colonists and make a queen. That was in the wiki.
So what's the sequel going to be?
So they're going to the new planet, right?
Yeah.
And I'm assuming people are going to assume that there's a colony there.
Yeah.
Because Dave is going to be like, yeah, everything's fine as he's fucking with people.
Mm-hmm.
Then someone actually goes there for once, and then it's like a whole hive. It's going to be like a whole hive planet. It's going to be Xenomorph Prime.
Or the Queen Mother. David creates the Queen Mother.
Yep.
And the Queen Mother answers to him. And the reason she does the dream thing is because David is obsessed with people's dreams.
Yep.
There we go. We cracked the code.
Yeah.
We've connected everything.
Absolutely.
We finally were able to do it.
We cracked the
dumb shit code that these movies have created for us.
Yeah.
And I want to love the franchise. I do. Alien is one of my top 10 favorite movies.
Alien's great. I'm more of an Aliens person. But they're both so different that you could go either or. It's kind of like Terminator and Terminator 2.
Terminator 1 and 2. I'm a Terminator 2 person.
Terminator 1's fun. Yeah.
It's a good movie, but I prefer Terminator 2. The story's just better.
Yeah, it is.
Alien over Aliens. I prefer slower movies, generally speaking.
I love the action.
I'm not really into fast-paced action movies as much as I probably should be for a person my age. What?
It's game over, man. It's game over.
I mean, I wish Bill Paxton was an alien.
I wish
Bill Paxton was in every movie of the 80s.
What if he was in this movie?
I mean, as a ghost? Like his ghost watched it?
Or was he alive during... Oh, he was alive during Prometheus.
Yes, he was.
Man, what? Just make Bill Paxton the main character.
He's never been.
Yeah.
Somebody ring the Dinkster.
Oh,
Make him the Dinkster in the Alien. Let's connect Spy Kids to this too.
Yeah, let's just draw that in here.
But back to my real point about Bill Paxton is he's the only one to ever be killed by what, Cole?
By an alien, by a Terminator, and by a Predator.
Yep, he's in a lot of movies.
Yeah.
He's often one of the best parts of those movies.
Yeah.
But I guess we're done with Prometheus and Covenant until the next two. 'Cause they're planning two more movies, from what I understand. They're 2 movies away from this, but they're getting way too close to Alien in the timeline now.
Yeah, they're getting. I don't know. You're gonna have to really cram it in there.
Right, because they got 40 years to make where they're at to Alien.
The year jumps, they went too big. It's
Yeah.
kind of like how your handwriting starts really big, and then you're like, ah, shit, I gotta squeeze it in.
The John Mulaney joke about we all made a happy birthday sign.
Yeah.
Big ass H.
Big H.
Big ass A. Oh God, I have no room for the P.
Oh no. The next few years are gonna be crammed with
Yeah, I don't know. And I hope that they make your timeline true.
Yep.
And that there's no more Predator movies. They're done with that.
Or just have them all in the past.
Or they jump 200 years into the future.
Yes.
Past this point, past the point of Alien. But no, yeah, I guess we're done until those 2 come out, which we will have to visit them at some point, I suppose.
No.
We'll do live reacts to those.
Oh God, no.
Live reacts. Oh God, I can't put myself through this. If I like Michael Fassbender, he's my favorite part of the new X-Men franchise.
Sure, I don't know why.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're done with that. Next 2 episodes are going to be Predator.
Yep.
Which we will do the AVP movies in. We're knocking out all of Alien in the first 3, so.
Yeah.
I think we kind of just wanted to get them over with.
Yeah, we just want to get. I'll do AVP with the Predator.
So I want you to know the reason we did Alien is because I said we're doing Alien.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be really good for.
Yeah.
I think we had a lot of fun with this, right?
Yeah. The Bugmen are the best part.
The conversations are. I can't wait to get to AVP and complain that there's no Bugmen.
Yeah.
I can't and Predator, and then I'm going to do the research on probably a video game. I'm not sure which one yet.
Yeah.
But I'm he doesn't like JRPGs and I love them, so I'm gonna annoy him with some JRPG bullshit.
No.
It'll be my favorite thing to do, Cole.
No.
All right, so we don't have a sign off yet, so just enjoy your day, evening, morning, night, whatever time frame you decide to watch or listen to this in.
Yeah, Molemen, please keep watching Molemen.
And have a wonderful rest of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I assume you hate us after listening to me shit on your favorite franchise.
Yeah, and your favorite movie. If if
Prometheus is your favorite movie, you need to watch more movies.
You need to watch more movies. Please come here.
I will if you find me, I will help you watch more movies. I have too many movies. I will watch Alien together and we'll watch a good movie.
Yeah.
Okay, and other than that, enjoy your time.
Yeah.